Hi, this is Nicole Birkholzer with Mindful Connections Sunday Inspiration. So today I want to talk about how important it is to accept reality and how much it will relieve your stress when you do. So a few months back when we adopted our dog Scout, I realized that this would be an amazing opportunity for us to actually have a little mascot that could travel around with us and teach people, and maybe even children in particular, how to create mindful connections. And Scout is such a sweet dog, and he's so adorable and speaks to people right away, that David and I had this great idea of him doing all this fabulous stuff without out on the road. You probably can hear him in the background right now drinking out of his bowl. So turns out the more we have spent time with Scout, we realize that Scout is really the kind of dog that loves to run out in nature. He doesn't really like car rides that much. He doesn't like crowded spaces. And he has over the months developed more and more into his breed, which we now believe to be certainly a big part is Border Collie. And Border Collies use their teeth a lot to move herds of sheep or livestock around. So for the last few weeks, I have been struggling with how Scout is developing, and that he is a little more nippy than any dog I have ever met. And I have gotten really concerned. How are we going to manage his nippiness when he's with people? Because we can't have him nip little kids. It's not nips that break the skin, but it's like, ouch, a little, and we're managing it and we're working with him on it, but what we're doing with him is not good enough for the public. And I've been stressing about, oh my God, how are we going to take him out? And what are we going to do? And let me find a trainer that actually is more breed specific. And I have spent a lot of time trying to figure this out. And last night, all of a sudden I was sitting here on the sofa, I was like, oh my God, I am crazy. I'm not accepting reality. The reality is that our dog has matured into a dog that doesn't fit my vision. He just doesn't fit what we thought we were going to do. That doesn't mean we can't work with him. That doesn't mean we can't possibly over the years maybe work with him on changing that behavior. But what it means is that I need to accept right now that this dog is not the little plush animal we're taking around the world that lets anybody pet him without moving an inch. It's not him. And when I realized that last night, when I finally came to the understanding that I am fighting what is, and I'm not accepting Scout for who he is, really, I was like, oh my God, I am so relieved all of a sudden that I can stop working this so hard, that I can stop spending energy on trying to make him into something that he's not. And all of a sudden, it was actually really bizarre. When I let go of this expectation of him, my heart went like, oh, it opened up, and I felt so much more connected to him, and I felt so much more, I want to even say love it, not that I can imagine even I'm loving him more because I love him so much, but I felt such compassion for him, to love him for who he is rather than turning him into something that he isn't, that it already changed my relationship. From last night to right now, this dog and I have a different relationship. I'm going to allow him to be who he is. I'm going to still manage him in ways that I know how to manage, but I'm going to just embrace him for now, for this amazing being that he is. Because when I actually stopped trying to transform him, I actually got to observe him last night. At one point he came over to me and he came up to my hand and he started licking my hand. And when he was done licking the inside, he took his little teeth and he pulled my fingers up. And in that moment, I would have usually said, uh-oh, don't bite, licking only. But I didn't. And I realized what he did is he took his teeth, he pulled my hand up, and he folded my fingers over so he could lick underneath. And then a moment later, he took my thumb between his teeth, and he turned my hand over so he could actually lick this part of me. And I realized, of course, what else does he have? He doesn't have a thumb. He can't use his paw to turn me around. he uses his teeth so specifically and actually technically precise. It was amazing to me how he did it, and it didn't hurt. But from a human perspective, you're like, oh, don't bite my fingers, don't bite my thumb. That's not what he was. He was very, very talented in moving my hand around to do something that he thought was really important, licking me, which is, of course, a grooming connection. And when I let him do that, I was like, once again, really humbled, actually thinking, here I am trying to teach him to not do this, that, or the other thing, when he has a real process that goes on. And by me allowing him to be what he needs to be, he's actually showing me a world that I didn't even realize and didn't even know. So I'm excited to actually embrace him for who he is and continue to share with you what I learn in the process. And for now, he's staying on the farm. He's not going to be our mascot, and that's going to be okay. So really big day for me yesterday. I hope this inspires you to look at things with a little more clarity and with a little more inspiration. Until next week.